Hello, good evening, Tribuners. Welcome back with me, Mutiara, in Indonesian News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an updating and interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here, the complete news. The first news comes from Samarinda. Fire at Bantuas Public Refueling Station. The time was 3:30 a.m. when the Bantuas Public Refueling Station, Palaran District, Samarinda City was empty of customers. At this public refueling station, all of the refueling operators are women. On Monday, March 21st, 2022, Herlianti is on duty with her colleagues, Juwita Sari and Irmawati, with Dewi Sumanti as supervisor. Then at 9:45 a.m., a pickup unit with the police number KT 8773OR arrived, filling up 200,000 rupiah of Pertalite oil fuel. Juwita Sari, who was in charge of the Pertalite dispenser, swiftly started filling. But halfway through, Juwita Sari saw smoke accompanied by fire from inside the car's cabin. He also put the dispenser nozzle to stop filling and immediately ran to turn off the machine's electricity. In the midst of panic, they tried to extinguish the fire using a light fire extinguisher available at the public fuel filling station. The weather was sunny, but strong winds made the fire quickly grab the Pertamax dispenser on the other side. Not only that, the motorcycles, namely his Blue NMAX KT 2604GR and Scoopy KT 222 and 3 on belonging to Herlianti were also consumed by the fire. The contents of light fire extinguisher have been exhausted. They tried to run to the Palaran Sanga border access route to look for firefighting tanks that used it to pass, until finally the Sanga and Pertamina Fire Brigade teams arrived at the scene and handled the smoldering red rooster. Regarding to motorbike parked in front of the dispenser, Herlianti explained that Pertamax was empty at the time. Because there is no safe parking space, they are forced to park their vehicles in inappropriate position. Meanwhile, after the unwanted incident, Irmawati, who was beside Herlianti, admitted that she was even more shocked because she was blamed by several parties. The next news is overflowing river water causes flooding in Tanjung Selor. Residents of Bulu Perindu, Tanjung Selor have to face the flood while on the move caused by the high tide of Kayan River on Monday, March 21st, 2022. The area is subject to flooding every rainy season and high tide. The head of the 17 Neighborhoods Association, Bulu Perindu Panggalo, said that the flooding in Bulu Perindu, North Kalimantan this time occurred 2 days ago. The flood came for overflowing river water and heavy rain from Pesohulu district. He also asked for concerted steps from the government to swiftly provide assistance with 9 basic materials and repair drainage channel in Bulu Perindu. This is not the first incident in Bulu Perindu, according to Panggalo, where residents' houses were flooded 2015 years ago. The houses of residents in Bulu Perindu village were once flooded, even though the shape of the houses here is on average 2 until 3 meters high on wooden stilts. So far, there is no other way to deal with flooding in Bulu Perindu except waiting for the water to recede. The next news comes from Medan. Cases of fraud by shaman with the mode of entering civil servants. A female shaman with the initial MI who is reported to have cheated her patient with the motive of entering civil servant, admitted to making a deposit to a member of the youth community organization named Budi. MI said that Budi was a member of Pemuda Pancasila. However, MI reasoned that Budi had died. MI said Budi admitted to himself that he could get people to work, including being a civil servant in any agency. MI admitted that all of the victims' money was handed over to Budi through him. He said the money that Budi asked for varied, ranging from 5 million rupiah to 10 million rupiah. Furthermore, he said that he had received the most from a victim named Khaidir, as many as 35 million rupiah. However, he did not know the total amount he had received from the victims. Previously, MI, a female shaman who opened a practice at her residence at Tani Asli Street, Sungal District, Deli Serdang Regency, reported her patient to the Medan City Resort Police. The reason is that this female shaman cheated by offering the victim the opportunity to become a civil servant. Seduced by the offer to become a civil servant, the patients who seek treatment at this female shaman are deceived into experiencing quite a fantastic loss. A victim with the initial YZ, who is 37 years old, said that she had lost tens of millions because of this female shaman, until he finally reported it to the Medan City Resort Police on Friday, March 11, 2022. The next news is the discovery three bodies of men in the water of the Bangka Belitung region. In the past week, three male bodies have been found in the waters of Bangka Belitung region. On Sunday, March 13, 2022, the body of a man was found stuck in the shoreline of Tanjung Padam, Tanjung Pandan, Belitung. The figure of the unfortunate man, until now his identity has not been known. Recently, two bodies with the same condition were found again in the water of Jebulaut, Kelabat Village, Paritiga District, West Bangka Regency on Monday, March 21, 2022. Two male bodies were found by fishermen in a floating condition adrift in the sea. The head of the Water Police Unit at the West Bangka Resort Police Commissioner Adjutant Chandra Wijaya when confirmed the discovery of the body. From the information obtained, it is known that the two bodies were found at around 11:30 a.m. when fishermen were looking for fish around the location. Previously, Henry, a visitor to Tanjung Padam Beach in Belitung, was surprised to see a strange object not far from where he was sitting on Sunday, March 13, 2022 in the morning. When he looked more closely, it turned out that what he previously thought that it was a human body was true. Henry, who was watching his son playing on the beach, immediately rushed to the Coast Guard to report his findings. The unidentified body was stuck in a beach gutter hole in a prone position. After receiving the report, Alex went straight to the location where the body was found in the beach area. Incidentally, there were not members of the Belitung Resort Police at the location, so the report was immediately forwarded. Not long after that, the Indonesian Automatic Fingerprint System Unit of Criminal Investigation Unit Belitung Police evacuated the body to Marsidi Judono Hospital. Henry, who was met by postbelitung.co, said that at first he and his wife were watching their children playing on the beach while sitting near the sea. When he looked back, he was surprised to see a corpse in the gutter hole. According to him, the position of the body was face down in the broken gutter hole with white pants. Unfortunately, the corpse left half of the body down. The next news is detention house inspection activities in Aceh. The head of regional office of the Ministry Law and Human Rights in Aceh, Meurah Budiman, together with her entourage, conducted an inspection at the Class 2B Detention Center Tapak Tuan on Sunday, March 22, 2022 at 9 o'clock p.m. The arrival of the group was greeted directly by the head of the second Class B Detention House Tapak Tuan, Sofian, along with structural officials. Then the head of the regional office and the team conducted raids in residential rooms, namely rooms 1 and room 11, to ensure that there were no prohibited items. From the result of the team's raid, no prohibited items were found. The activity was continued by controlling around the residential block and greeting the occupants of the women's room, which consisted of 3 inmates. On the occasion, the head of the regional office conveyed suggestions to the Tapak Tuan Detention House to improve control at vulnerable hours and continue to maintain the health and cleanliness of the inmates. The next news is, a number of former heads of neighborhood associations held an action at the Makassar City Hall office. Several representatives of former heads of neighborhood association and community units finally met the Makassar city government during a demonstration at the City Hall office on Monday, March 21, 2022. They were received by the Secretary of National Unity and Politics, Harry, Head of Community Empowerment, Harun Rani, and Head of Governance Section, Aswin Harun. This mediation process took place in the National Unity and Politics Room. The chaotic discussion of the person in charge of the neighborhood unit and community unit was thought. Both parties seemed to be reciprocating with their respective arguments. The city government has not finished explaining yet. Representatives of former neighborhood association and community association spoke again, and so on, until there is no solution from this meeting. The neighborhood unit and community units want a certain schedule for their general election. Well, the city government cannot confirm because the mayor regulation is still being discussed. The ranks of former neighborhood units and community units also dispersed from the meeting location. Some of them rebelled, shouted, cursing at the leadership of the Makassar city government. Head of Makassar Community Empowerment Section, Harun Rani, said that the schedule for general election was the main demand that demonstrators called for. However, Harun admitted that he couldn't confirm the schedule because the mayor regulation on the general election is currently still in process. And the last news comes from Bogor. Revocation of the highest retail price of cooking oil, people turn to bulk cooking oil. The Indonesian government has decided to return packaged cooking oil prices to market prices. This is done to overcome the scarcity that has been happening for some time. Launching from TRIBUNnews.com, the government revoked the ministerial regulation that regulates the highest retail price for packaged cooking oil of 14,000 for 1 liter. Whereas previously, the Ministry of Trade planned to set the policy for 6 months. However, after only 3 months, Jokowi handed over the price of packaged cooking oil to the market. However, there is still a shortage of cooking oil in some areas. Even if there are a number of stalls, the prices are set higher than mini markets. Several residents of Cibinong, Bogor Regency finally decided to buy bulk cooking oil instead of packaged oil. Besides being easy to find in stock, the price of bulk cooking oil is also much cheaper. In a stall in the Cibinong area, For example, the price of bulk cooking oil is 5,000 rupiah for 0.25 kilograms. And for information, on Wednesday, the 16th March 2022, yesterday, the government issued a regulation on the highest retail price increase for bulk cooking oil. The government decides the price of bulk cooking oil, which is 14,000 rupiah for 1 liter. In determining the price of bulk oil, a price subsidy will be provided by the Palm Oil Plantation Fund Management Agency. Well, that's all the news for today with me, Mutiara. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.